Hello, it's Maya Andreasen, and we are back working on the IK FK rig. We're still working on the IK legs and creating controls to them. So this is part 4 of the video, and we are going to make an animation control for our legs. Now, you can do this several different ways. I'm going to make a control that goes behind the legs, but you can make a control that kind of looks like a foot and is underneath the legs. I'm going to show you how to do that first, and then I'm going to go through the way I want to make the control because I want to be a little fancy today. So I'm going to do create NURBS primitive circle, right? So if we make this control, we go into F8 to shape it, hit R, right? And we basically have this kind of basic generic, maybe like it's kind of a foot, right? And you want to make sure the center is pivoted, or the pivot is centered. I'm so sorry. And we're going to press V to snap it to the ankle. And then we are going to press F8 or go into component mode that way, or go to the modeling toolkit and go into component mode by pressing this icon here. And then what you can do is move the let's move it underneath the character. So what we want to do is, oopsie, did not mean to do that. Meant to hit Alt. All right, so we're gonna just move it down to foot height, right, to the base of the foot. So that is surrounding the foot. Okay, so this is one way to create a control that is going to be kind of your main foot control. Now I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to put my control behind the foot. So I've already made this. It's just a bunch of curves called foot. I used a tool called PST, parent shape, kind of transform, right? So in this case, you make a bunch of curves, and to combine them, you would show the shape nodes, which you could do over here in display and show shapes. So you check that on. Oopsie, let's bring that outliner back. You select all of the shape nodes of the objects except for the top object, which you select the actual object. And down here you would type in like the mel code. I think it's parent dash S shape, and then enter. I think I'm missing something. I can't remember it exactly, but I have a meld script tool for it, so I'm a little bit lazy and it just makes it for me. But you could type in the meld script, it'll do the same thing. You do want to make sure if you use a meld script to the meld script down here in mel, you want to make sure all of your objects pivot points are centered and all history has been deleted. So and as you can see here, we have all of these shape nodes that make up this entire object. So anyway, I'm going to use it. It's called foot. I'm going to rename it. We're going to call it anim L leg IK01. All right. And we are going to do the same thing we did with that circle. We're going to snap it to the ankle joint. We are then going to go into component mode and put it where we want it to go. Now if you press J, you can rotate things at increments. Isn't that fun? So, and then we can move it behind this. Now you probably want to show the character so you know that it's actually behind the character, right? And not intersected inside of the character where it makes it hard for your potential animator to select the control. We don't want that. So we turn it on briefly to make sure that that's not the case. All right, so once we have created the control, we've moved it where we want it to go, we've renamed it, we also want to duplicate it, Control D, and press V to snap it to the right hand side, and we do need to rename it. We just need to change L to R. 01. All right. Fantastic. Okay, so now that we have both controls, they're both named properly, let's freeze transformations. So that's either modify, freeze transformations, or if you have it on your shelf, it's probably FT to freeze transformations. Now, the left-hand control we're going to color blue, and the right-hand control we're going to color red. Now I have these as mel scripts. If you were going to do this from scratch, you're going to go to your attribute editor. We are going to go to this guy's shape node, right? Yes. We're going to go under Object Display, Drawing Overrides, Enable Overrides, and we're going to look for the color red. I think there's a brighter one in here someplace. Is there? Yes, there is. Okay, there it is. So this script, if we were to look at it, basically says, hey, make this the color red, right? That's the notes. And to do that, this is the mel script. And then for all objects in the selection, run the command, enable the color overrides, which we just did, and then recolor it red. And that red is number 13. Now, I think I accidentally made this brown. Yeah, there we go. Now it's red. All right. So, but it only made one of the shape nodes red. By the way, the easiest way you can do this is if you went to display shapes, right? And you just opened up all these shapes. And then you went into here in the attribute editor. Oh, look, nothing, none of it has been enabled. Okay. So the only drawback of not having the actual mel script is you do need to do all the select all the shape nodes individually to color them. Whereas if you have that handy dandy mel script, it makes the process a lot quicker and easier. It just speeds up the workflow, which is fantastic. All right, so all of these should be, let's hide the shape nodes now. All of these should be red. Yes, yippee skippy. All right, so now we want to select the controls, and these two leg controls, and we want to put them into our control objects group here, which is right here. Okay, so what you could do is you can select these two controls, control select control objects, and hit P to parent, and voila, they are in there. All right, you can also middle mouse drag them as well. All right, so the next thing we want to do is change the controls, the kind of direction that they're in. So we want them to be in X, Z, Y. So once again, if we went to the attribute editor, we scrolled up and we went to here, we would see that the rotate order of our controls is in X, Y, Z. Now once again, we can either do these one at a time, or we can type in the mel line xform space dash ROO X, Z, Y and hit enter. And as you can see, the rotate order changes right there for me, and it's on both of them. It changes both of them at the same time. You hit enter when you're done entering the mel script in the mel script line. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create some custom channels to drive the knees. So we're going to do this to both controls at the same time. So we're going to select both of these leg controls. Now I have them named foot. I mean, technically they really should probably be named leg. Okay, but I named them foot. That's what they're going to be for right now. If I go to channels, I can go to edit, add attribute. Okay, it's also under modify. So if you can't remember this, you can go to modify, add attribute. Same exact window, just in multiple different places. So we're going to create a long name of _1. So this is going to be our separator from the already included attributes to our new attributes. It'll be displayable. It's going to be enum. Remember, we did this before. We're going to delete the blue name, and the green is going to be called knee control. And we're going to click add because we're going to make some more. Okay, so there it is, right there. Cool. Next, we're going to do long name twist. It's going to be keyable and float. Okay, And we're just going to hit OK. And after that, we can go into the connection editor to make some connections. So we're going to start with our left leg control. We're going to go to Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. Here we go. Now, by the way, I just want to reiterate this. If you see something that looks like this, that means all the non-keyable channels or attributes are visible. So if you go to left display and unclick non-keyable, we see the keyable, right? The keyable channels and our brand new attribute. So our keyable attributes that were already included plus our brand new attribute, which is awesome. Okay. Now, for the inputs, we want our IK handle. So let's hit Q here so we can see it. All right, here's my IK handle. I'm going to reload it on the right. And we're going to connect twist to twist. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we're still in the connection editor, and we want to do the right leg. So we're going to select the right control, hit reload left. We're going to select the right IK handle, reload right. And we're going to connect twist to twist. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to do, and then we can close it. So let's do some parenting so the controls fully work. So our loc ori L bank right 01. So let's close these so we could see these. So loc ori right L bank right 01. And then in our work window, shift select our leg control. And we should hit P to parent. And here we go. Okay. Now for the right hand side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select the loc ori, our bank left 01. We have to select it in our outliner. It's not even visible in our work window, plus it would be hard to select. And then we are going to shift select in the work window our right leg control and hit P to parent. All right, so next we're going to select both of our leg controls, our foot controls, and we are going to remove the scale and visibility channels. So I just drag select or left mouse press drag select to drag, to select scale and visibility. And then we go channels, lock and hide selected. All right, and then you can see we have our little twist node, which is great. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is we're going to add a few more attributes to these controls. So my controls are still selected. Well, actually, let's see. Oh, look at that. They both work. So that's great. So let's save this. We're going to save this as something new. Save scene as. And let's save this as O2. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's add some more attributes. So we're going to add edit, add attribute, 2 underscores, displayable enum, blue gets deleted, and the green is foot pivot. And click add. And then we're going to add foot X as the long name. It's keyable, it's float, make it float, click add. We're going to have foot Y, keyable, float, and foot Z, which kind of sounds like footsie, but it's foot Z. And then we're going to hit add. All right, we're going to add another separator, 1, 2, 3 underscores, displayable enum, delete blue, and green is going to be called toe pivot. All right, we're going to add that guy. And then we're going to add toe X, and it's going to be keyable and float. and we're going to add toe Y and toe Z. So toe Y and toe Z. They're all keyable, float, add, long name, 4 underscores, 1, 2, 3, 4, displayable enum, blue name, not present, green name, change it to heel pivot. All right, so you probably guessed it, and you guessed it right. After we hit add, we are going to have heel X. It's going to be keyable and float. Heel Y, keyable float, and heel Z, which is going to be keyable and float. We're going to add 5 underscores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Displayable enum, blue name's non-existent, green name is bank control. Ooh, bank control. And add. Okay, so now with this attribute, we're going to have bank. It's going to be keyable. It's going to be a float. And now we finally can hit OK. Let's take a look at all these. Oh, man. This is great. Look at all these attributes we've added. They're not doing anything yet, but they will. And we've added them, and it's great. So we're going to hit Control S to save, because that was a lot. All right, so we want to actually make some connections between the controls and the locators and the foot. So we are going to select the left foot control. We are going to open our friend the connection editor. Now, I have my connection editor on my shelf. It's CE on my shelf. We already know where to find it under Windows General Editors, Connection Editor. Oopsie. Or we can hit CE. Don't hit CP now. CE on the shelf. Now, I'm actually going to move CE, Connection Editor, so you can middle mouse click and drag, and that'll move your mouse scripts on your shelf mouse scripts. So I just moved select hierarchy in between center pivot and the connection editor, because I think that's a good idea. All right, so we have our connection editor, we have our leg control, it's on the left. Okay, and let's see, what do we want to do next? And then we're going to add our local line L foot 01. So, where are all these crazy locators? They're in here. So I'm just going to shift click the plus sign, and there we go. So it is local line L foot 01. Here it is. Local line L foot 01, and we're going to put that under reload right. Okay. And we're going to do the following connections. Foot X, which is here, is going to go to rotate X. Foot Y to rotate Y. Foot Z to rotate Z. Okay? Now, before we go any further, we're going to do the right-hand side. We're just going to do them at the same time, because otherwise we might forget. All right, so the right leg, reload right, and local line our foot 01, reload left. And so we do foot X, rotate X, foot Y, rotate Y, foot Z, rotate Z. Fabulous. Okay, next we're going to add local line L toe. We're going to put our foot control, reload left, local line L toe on the right. You know what, let's just do the left side and then we'll move to the right side, because we don't actually have to change the foot control and reload left until we're done with everything, so that just makes it easier. All right, so toe X, rotate X, toe Y, rotate Y, toe Z, rotate Z. So next we're going to have the local line L heel on reload right. Okay, So heel X is going to go to rotate X, heel Y to rotate Y, heel Z to rotate Z. Okay. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. We already did one of them. So let's select the right foot control, reload it on the left. And then what we need to do is select localine R toe 01, reload that on the right. Toe X to rotate X, toe Y to rotate Y, toe Z to rotate Z. Now we're going to go to localine R heel 01, reload it on the right, heel X, rotate X, heel Y, rotate Y, heel Z, rotate Z. All right. Now we just need to finish the bank channel, and we're actually going to create expression for that. But before we do that, let's test this guy out. Let's see if it works. I don't know if it does. Let's do this. So foot X, I don't know, let's put in 30. All right, that rotates, but you know. What about toe X? All right, what about -20? There we go. That's great. What about -20? It's not really the foot X, Y, and Z isn't really doing what I want, so we might need to revisit that guy. All right, heel X. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so and then let's go over here to our friend over here. Oh, so see, this one is working. What did we do with this one? Let's go look. Let's go to the connection editor and see what funky time we did. What did we do? Okay. So that is connected, and that is connected. All right, that's good to know. You know, when you're not sure about what's going on, you gotta take a look at it and just like what's happening, right? Why isn't this moving? And let me see. So that's moving that. Okay, those are all. They're actually all connected properly. This is just not moving properly. Okay, now it's moving. Okay, so 20. Oh, 20 and 20. That doesn't really do what we. That's not really doing what we want, but that's okay. Let's check this out. This is like 20. Yeah, that one we might get rid of. I don't know. Let's not do 200. 20 and 20. So I'm just putting things in. I don't know that we want a negative. Maybe. All right. So for the toe pivot, right? So if we put -20, right? 20. That's working. What about the heel? Let's check out this heel. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So all of these are working, so we can hit save. And like before we go into this banking control, what I would like to do is save this as a new version. So we're going to go File, Save Scene As. Save that guy as 03. All right. So we're going to go into the expression. It might go left for me, but we do want to make a banking expression. So we need to know which direction our bank locators rotate. So on the left foot, the locator on the right side of the foot. Okay, so this is the right side of the foot. Where does it rotate? It rotates. It actually rotates in the positive, and this one rotates on the in the negative. Okay, so the locator on the and I'm going to write this down because I'll forget. So locator on right equals positive. Locator on left equals negative rotation. We're just going to write it down so we don't forget. All right. Now let's just make sure again. So this one is the left, it's positive, right. No, this is positive, this is negative. Yeah, negative, positive. Okay, we got it. All right, so on the right foot it's going to be the negative. So the inside one, the one on the left is going to be negative, and the outside one on the right is going to be positive. So we got it. All right, so we want to select the local line L bank left 01. So let's close this one up and go up here. Local line L bank left 01 locator. We are going to go to its rotate Z channel, edit expressions. All right, so just go to edit expressions. All right, so here we are. Okay, it opens up. This is the expressions menu. And we want to copy the name in the select object and attributes field. So copy this name right here, select object and attribute, that's the field. And under select filter, click on by expression name, which is up here. We're going to do by expression name. Okay, this is going to clear everything out. It's basically going to refresh everything. So under expression name, right, that's this guy, we're going to go bank underscore expr. Under expression, we are going to start typing the following command. So we're going to put 2 backspaces, okay, and then we're going to click create. All right, and that's going to be our bank expr. So we're going to type in the following. So next to these 2 backspaces, we're going to put left, okay, and then we're going to put in 2 spaces, if space parentheses annum, I think it's this one, right? No. Annum L leg IK. Let me go into my control objects and make sure this is the right way. Annum L leg IK01. You need to make sure you're spelling everything exactly how it is spelled in your channels box. If it's not, if it's like one thing is wrong, pandemonium. It's not going to work. Dot bank space what is this? Less than equals 0. Parenthesis and then brackets, wherever my brackets is hiding. Here it is. Backwards brackets. There we go. Enter. Local line L bank left 01 dot rotate Z. So the thing that we copied before. Okay. Space equals annum L leg IK 01, right, with all the spaces and the underscore, well, all the underscores and all that fun stuff. Make sure all your lowercase and uppercase are proper. Dot bank semicolon space. It's that crazy brackets again. We're closing the brackets. Else, no space. Space, open brackets, a local line, basically paste local line L bank left 01 rotate Z equals 0, semicolon, brackets, 2 spaces. Okay, so now we're going to do this whole thing again, but it's going to be for the right-hand side, right? So basically, I think what we can do is we can cut and paste this. Let me make this bigger though. So I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to paste it, but this time, right, so Anim L leg IK01 bank, we are going to change our brackets. Actually, we're going to change the brackets here. This is what we're going to do. Change that bracket for, I think, our positive and our negative. So that should be correct. We're going to change this to right. And we're going to change this to right. Okay, rotate Z equals 0. All of that looks good. All right, so now we need to do the right-hand side. So we are going to space, backspace right, okay, for the right side, and then we're going to press edit, okay, and we're just going to copy and paste this, but we're going to flip these signs again. So this sign is going to be in like this, and this sign is going to be out like that. And then obviously this is going to be R, 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 R for left, remember R for left, right? So we have if Anim R leg IK01 bank, right? Localine R bank left 01 dot rotate Z equals Anim R leg IK01 bank, else localine R bank left 01 dot rotate Z equals 0. If Anim R leg IK01 dot bank, right, localine R bank 01 dot rotate Z equals Anim R leg IK01 dot bank, else localine R bank right 01 dot rotate Z equals 0. And then we're going to press edit when we're done. Now we want to hide the locators, so we're going to select the loc ori R bank left 01 and the loc ori L bank right 01. So loc ori L bank L01, and then the loc ori R bank right 01, and we're just going to hit H to hide them, right? So they are now hidden, which means all of our locators are hidden. And this should work. So let's see. Let's go here and let's see if our bank control works. Let's see. We should be able to control drag, but 5. Oh, it's working. Yay. -20, it does. Okay, great. Let's try the other side. Let's see if it works. More or less, it's working okay. All right, let's hit save, and we got our expression. It didn't give us an error, so we are done with the IK legs. The next tutorial, we're going to work on making the FK controls. All right. Until next time, I'm Maya Andreasen. Bye-bye.